Hey fam, how you doing? Of course, we are here again. This is Toussaint Smith.
I'm Veronica Smith. I'm the leader.
We're just hanging out today, just having a good time. So I say cheers to you. So enjoy. I just want us to be natural. We want to just talk about our 21 years of being in business. It's amazing to me.
It's crazy because I cannot even believe we've been in business that long.
No,
I really can't.
It's a flashback. You start thinking about all the flashbacks of the things that have occurred in your business and the whole work. So I'm excited about talking. We're not gonna be long, but I want you to know, and we really want you to know who Alliance Associates is and get a feel for us. And know that we're here with you and walking through in every process. Frank, but before you say anything, I just want you to know, I was looking back at, from a historical standpoint, that we have, with all of our transactions, we have done somewhere around 520 transactions.
That's a lot of transactions. I remember going on an interview and looking for a job. It was looking for a job. This was before real estate. You were just creeping into real estate, and I went on this interview just to get a job as a receptionist. Give me something. And the guy looked and said, I can't believe this, but can I tell you, you'll be great at real estate. And I'm like, is this a real estate office? I'm looking around like, dude, I need a job. I got 3 kids at home. I had 3 of those incidents. 3. And you were the third one that said, hey, Veronica. It was Wednesday. I had missed 2 days already. You called and said, hey, Veronica, get up. I can't believe God told me to tell you to go get your real estate license. That was my 3rd confirmation. And I said, okay, not knowing what I was getting into. I used my last $600 to enter this field, this arena. And now we're talking 20 years later.
20 years later.
We brought it all together.
Yeah. So it has been the best roller coaster ride, and sometimes the worst roller coaster ride you can get on. But it's definitely been a roller coaster ride. I'm thankful. I'm thankful to God for the ride. I'm thankful when I look back. I'm thankful that we are exactly where we are today. You know, we all have wishes and dreams that things could be this high or this wouldn't happen. But you know what? We are still here after so many years. We have saw other business just close up, dry up because of whatever, especially during the recession, pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
Things are closed, but we are still here. I'm going to go back in somewhere around 2003. I started with Beard and Warner, just hanging out, just somewhere to hang my license up. And the year later, here come Alliance Associates Realtors. And as Veronica just mentioned, from that point on, we started doing this thing for Alliance, and we've had as many as 10 agents, all the way up to, I think the top number was around 13 agents at one time, and as low as she and I on the team only, so we
kept it going.
Yeah, we kept it going.
It was like a machine. We kept it going. One thing I can say, and I think one of the reasons, and like you said, the lows were lows, and the highs were highs, but I think what kept us there, and even when our partnership ain't perfect, but it's a partnership, but it's also, we're siblings. We grew up in a business where our parents for 40 years, 44 years or whatever, they had their business and they had their lows. And remember when the malls came into play?
Oh yeah.
And
the
money started drying up at the store, but they kept going. And those are the memories when our hard times come. That's the stuff that keeps me saying, okay, we can do this. I'm mad at them. But
so we was actually, when you think about it, we was trained up right to be in business,
right,
because of the fact that for most of our lives, even as young kids, reaching up, trying to reach put candy on top of the candy counter when my mom and dad, when they first started.
Right.
So we grew up in the business. So we were there. And I think you're right. I think that's where when we hit those hard times, the perseverance to keep on pushing through shows up, overall. So I you know what? I think that when I look at all of the worst situations where I think we should close, that was in my mind. I think we should close. I don't know if we could keep this thing going on. We had people that intervened. At one point, we were in one building and we couldn't pay rent.
And we made the phone call. It was the phone call. Well, make the call. We're making a call. Hey, we don't have it. We can't keep this lease going.
And a phone call to the
landlord.
Landlord, yeah.
And for him to come back and say, you all are not going anywhere.
Yeah, it was so funny because that man would not allow us to close down the business. He told us that he was willing to hold back on rent. We were obligated to pay him, of course, but and he let us catch up.
Yeah, he let us catch up.
He let us catch up.
He let us catch up. He wanted us to be successful, and it was times where I don't even know if I ever told you this before. We talking about bad times. So the money had dried up. We were doing, Toussaint and I were doing everything. I'm talking everything to get this business and keep this business going. So I'm sitting there and I finally got angry, and I got angry with God. I did. I got angry with God, and I'm sitting in my office by myself. And I said, you know what? And I'm talking to God. This is your office. You want this business, you keep this business. I'm yelling. I walked out. I quit. That's what I said. Those were my final words for the day. I quit. Wow. I got up. I walked out. I locked that door and I went home. The next morning, I get up. I put on my clothes and I go to work like normal. I forgot I was mad at God. So I get to the office. All the lights are on. So I think somebody done broke in the office. Yep, so I'm tiptoeing into the office waiting to run into this burglar. Forgetting I quit the night before in a rage. But God will allow us, I believe, to have our fit. And then he will say, go back and do what I told you to do.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
And I'm glad I went back and did what he told me to do.
It was back to that word that I used before. It's that perseverance, about continue to push. Right. I'll tell anybody, especially those that are coming up in business, whatever your business is, different business are today, is, there are going to be some hard times. There are going to be some good times, but you just have to keep on pushing and push and allow the victories to be the victories. Yeah. Because even think about when the recession came around, we had no real estate. People were not buying real estate properties. No. But all of a sudden, we did more rentals that year, that one particular year of the recession, we did more rentals than we have ever done in the history of Alliance since
One
and
phone
now.
call. One phone call. I remember the phone call coming in, and she asked, "Hey, can you do an insurance rental for us?" What? What's an insurance rental? Talk to me. And she explained what it was. Sure. I went out. I did one. Look at the flow that came into our business.
I'm not one to throw out numbers, but I think we did just in rentals that year. We did over around $35,000.
I think it was more.
No. I think it could have been, but at the minimum, we did $35,000 that I can't remember. Now that's my memory going back.
It was more. I'm telling you, I remember. It was more. I think we did close to 75.
It was a phenomenal. It was a phenomenal year. It really was.
And just in rentals, but what that he just provided at that moment. He just provided and made sure that we stayed in business. And here's the thing, guys. This is my brother. This is not just my business partner. And he alright sometimes, but sometimes he really get on my nerve. And we fight just like brothers and sisters fight. We fight hard though. I be ready to knock them out. But I know that I couldn't have did this without you. And you better not say nothing to nobody about that. I'm serious. I'd kill you.
Well, I'm just glad that the push is on. So we just want to share with you guys this path that we were on, this push that we were on to get to where we are today. Guys, we have seen in the last couple of years some phenomenal things happen. You know, the brilliantly black winners. What was it called?
The Brilliantly Black.
Yeah. So we won that, man. $100,000 worth of advertisement from the radio station, iHeartRadio. We won that. We were involved. We were just on, and this is not tooting our horn. This is just the blessings, just for pushing in. But we were just on the news maybe a couple weeks ago.
High five.
Yeah, they gave us a high five. Yeah, and they just talked about Toussaint and Veronica Smith of Alliance Associates Realtors. And so I tell you this because of the fact that I need you to push yourself.
Yep. Do not give up on your dreams.
Do not give up.
I'm telling anybody, if you have a dream and you're working towards your dream and it's going to get hard, your failure is a success because you need to stop, look at that failure and find out what lesson you learned from that particular failure so that you can skip that lesson again while you're trying.
And here's the other thing I'll say on top of that, and it's the old adage, new levels, new devils. Got to remember that every time you grow a level, there's a different attack, a different issue, a different problem that will occur. But all of us is based on what Veronica just said, a growth period. You're growing. So you got to suck it up. You got to prepare for the hits, the attacks that will occur. Sometimes it's going to come from family. It's going to come from friends. But what you do, you hold on, you get through that level, and then you get to the next level. But all it takes, guys, think about it. All it takes is one person, one phone call.
One phone call.
And all of a sudden, what you see is not what you're getting.
One phone call. Toussaint made one phone call to me. And I went from being unemployed to co-owning a real estate company 20 years later. One phone call can change your life. One phone call. No, it is not easy. You start at the bottom. Toussaint for a little bit. Oh, it was horrible. He was my boss for a minute. It was horrible. Oh God, it was horrible. But to learn the lessons from those that you I would say that you don't want to learn from, or that you never looked at as a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Right. You never looked at them as, okay, this is my brother. What I learned from him, I know everything about it. But then for him to grab me and say, no, this is the way you're going to go. Study this over and over and over again. And you're thinking that the teacher is punishing you, but the teacher is actually training you. Yeah. And then you realize I needed the person, not the person, my brother, not the person that you thought was going to be a horrible teacher, but
you needed the training.
I needed the training from what was inside of that person. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? And I learned along the way, and you know, from the company that bought me in, but I learned how they train, and I thought it was phenomenal, their training process. But their training process was read, you know, and do. And so and I would say that to anybody in any business, that you need to make sure that not only in real estate, but you are repetitive at your practicing before you start trying to sell real estate. Practice, and then you will get good.
But it's that digging deep inside, because as I'm listening to you and I'm listening to the training, I'm seeing the little bed that mama used to make behind the counter so we can lay down and go to sleep. You know, that was training. She brought us up behind the counter. You know what I'm saying?
So it was behind the counter.
It was behind the counter.
It was where the work was.
It was where the work was.
I love that. That's good.
That's good. So you have to start somewhere. But I would say to anybody, start. Don't just sit there. Just start. It's your dream. It's your life. Start.
Yeah. This is a unique video for us, because we normally talk about real estate and just real estate and how to get you to help buy a house. But we want you to see the side of us that is just like you, that says that, you know what, there's a business inside of you that you might be in right now. Don't give up. Find different avenues, put in applications for grants, do whatever you can to maintain your business. But we just want to share these concepts, share some ideas with you of how we have sustained ourselves through this business, and it was bouncing off of one another. When there was a need, we went to one another.
And we still bounce off each other. We talk to each other almost every day except for Sunday. Almost every day except for Sunday.
Don't need to talk on Sunday.
No.
Don't need to talk.
I didn't need to talk every day, but we bounce off each other, and that's how we survive.
Well, we're not going to go any further. We just want we want to say to you, continue to push on. We look forward to seeing you again. There's going to be a slew of these videos coming out. We're going to be talking to attorneys. We're going to be talking to lenders. We're going to be talking to multiple individuals, inspectors. We're going to try to give you everything that you need to know. But I want you to know that we're always open to you. I want to give you my number. It's 630-973-8892, and Veronica's number?
I am 708-344-1150.
Call us, talk to us, ask any questions. We're here for you, okay? Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.